the shadows of the old library halls, where the dust is thick and the silence calls. Books tell stories of the things unseen, of foxes wild and spirits keen. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Bibles open to verses dark, stories written to leave their mark. The wildlife outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The past a beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paranormal life outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The past a beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paranormal tales in every spine, haunting truths that cross the line. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Spirits waltz through moonlit air, books fall down as if to dare. Foxes howl in the wooded shade, they guard the truths that time forbade.
All right. Love that tune. I can't help but play it every time. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful evening on this Friday, August 8th. Let's get our camera on. Here we go. As you can see, Lenny is a little into things here. He's really into the golf theme tonight. He's got his driver with him. He's wearing his golf hat. His traditional golfer's hat, I guess, what you might call it. So he's all into this. So I hope you guys are too. It's kind of interesting. It's a little different than I normally do. I'm doing golf courses this week, so it should be cool. I hope it is. I hope you like it, of course. Let me begin by saying hello to everybody. So hello, Stiggs. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Adam. Hello, Sweet Tea. Zelda. Patty. Stony Tony, Emmanuel Spataro, Gerard in the house, surviving together. Good to see you. Jimena, good to see you. I don't know if you've ever been at a live before. That's awesome that you were able to stop by. Kelly, good to see you. CG2 is in the house. Who else am I missing here? I get everybody? All right, that's cool. I think I got everybody. Ryan, good to see you, Ryan. Gina, good to see you. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. Really appreciate it. All right. So tonight, we're going to talk about haunted golf courses, which when I found this out, it really it struck my interest, because who would have thought golf courses would be haunted? You know, I never thought that. So I said, this is worth a topic. Lenny, you got to put your driver down because it's in my way. I don't know what we're going to do with it. We'll put it back here. If I can fit it. There we go. All right, there we go. And my bigger one here. Oh, the wick is too long on this one. We got to cut this one real quick. Can't have a long wick on a candle. That's not a good formula. All right. There we go. That's better. That's what I want to see. 18 people in the chat. That's awesome. Can we get 20? That would be awesome if we can get 20. That would be great if 20. So come on in if you're around, hang out, listen to a story, and I hope you enjoy it. And of course, I have some paranormal videos or pictures to show you at the end. So stick around for that. In the meantime, sit back, relax. Welcome to the library. Let's dive in. Lenny, Edgar, right here hiding on his shoulder. There he is. And of course, Victor watching over us, protective as always. So let's talk about golf courses. Now, golf courses, surprisingly, it's not uncommon for ghost stories to be associated with golf courses, which to me was kind of fascinating. In fact, there were 8 of them in total, and I'm not going to go through all 8 of them, but 8 in the United States alone. And if you go outside the United States, there are even more. So it's quite interesting, if you ask me. And here I'm going to start off with telling you 4 real quick ones. Yeah, because there's not a lot that I could find about them, but it's worth mentioning because it's in the vein of all the golf courses and how so many of them have this type of activity. And then I'll get into 4 more specific ones, which I think are more interesting. So, Thean good to see you, buddy. All right, so let's go through some of these short ones. Now, first of all, we have Lincoln Park Golf Course in San Francisco. Now, the cool thing about Lincoln Park Golf Course in San Francisco is it has a great view of the San Francisco skyline, which, must be beautiful, right? I found a picture of it, and I thought I'd show you just so you get an idea of what we're talking about here. So, here are the golfers down here in the corner, and you can see the Golden Gate Bridge. Look at how, it's just the beautiful, beautiful scenery on this golf course. Just pretty darn beautiful. Hello, Magooch. Good to see you, buddy. Now, the creepy thing about this golf course is that it's built on top of 1,000 corpses. Think about that. 1,000 corpses are underneath this golf course. Of course, if you have 1,000 corpses underneath you, you're going to have ghostly activity. And the story behind it is this originally was called the Golden Gate, obviously Golden Gate Bridge, right? The Golden Gate Cemetery, Golden Gate Cemetery. This is interesting. It's not working the way I thought it would today. Things are a little funky today. My camera's not working properly. I have my old camera going. Ghosts, spirits in the electronics. What else is new? Anyway, well, let's get rid of that. All right. Now, originally, the Golden Gate Cemetery. 1909, a golf course was commissioned here. When that happened, those that were well-to-do, those that had the means, had their loved ones removed, had them relocated to other cemeteries. However, those that were not so well-to-do, had no choice but to leave them there, leave these bodies there. So the golf course went over them, just took place, just went right over them. I guess that's the way it was back in 1909. There were no laws per se that would prohibit that happening. So as a result, people say to this day that a lot of activity on the golf course will be to the detriment of golfers and inexplicably so. Shots that make no sense will happen. Anything bad will happen to golfers because the spirits that are there are very perturbed that these people are playing golf on top of them. So who can you blame them? I wouldn't blame them, right, Lenny? Would you want somebody? No, I don't think so. So I get it. The Lincoln Park golf course is bound to have problems forever. You got 1,000 bodies underneath it. So pretty creepy there. That's number one. Number two is the Trails West Fort Leavenworth, Kansas golf course. Trails West. This was the story behind this one is pretty sad. In the late 1800s, a woman by the name of Catherine Sutter lost her 2 children and spent her life looking for them. She was on this property when her children were lost. So she spent her remaining life looking for these lost children, never found them, ended up dying a very unhappy woman, a very sad woman. And it is said that her spirit continues to look for her children on this golf course. Many a golfer has said they have seen the silhouette of a woman carrying a lantern in the woods around the golf course, around the holes, and that the lantern would glow and light up the trees. So many sightings of the ghost of Catherine Sutter in the Trails West Fort Leavenworth, Kansas golf course. Creepy. Hello, Angelique. Thank you for joining. Paulie, good to see you, Paulie. McHugh is in the house. All right. All right, that was number 2. Number 3, the Pasatiempo Golf Club in Santa Cruz, California. This story is a little bit, I don't even know if this one holds much water, but hey, whatever. It's pretty simple. Alistair Mackenzie, who was a famous designer of golf courses, he would plan them. He was an engineer. He'd plan them out. And it was said that this particular golf course in Santa Cruz was his favorite. And because of that, when he ended up dying in 1934, he was cremated and his ashes were scattered all about this golf course because that's what he wanted. He wanted his final resting place to be at his favorite golf course. Well, plenty of people over the years since 1934 have claimed to have seen the spirit of Alistair hanging out here and there along the greens, either just walking around, looking at things, or sometimes seated on benches. So the Alistair's spirit is a bit active, still likes to hang around his favorite golf course. So that one is pretty straightforward. And then the fourth one is called Trilagi Golf Club. Trilagi Golf Club in Vestanachia, Peoria, Arizona. Vestanachia. Peoria, Arizona. Now, this particular golf course is said to be haunted by the spirits of the Apache Nation. And that is because, once again, this golf course was built on top of sacred Apache land, Apache burial grounds. So because of that, these native tribesmen spirits are not happy. And it is said they manifest themselves as restless spirits in the wind and in the weather on this golf course. That there are these whirlwinds that will come up out of nowhere and overcome a golfer's best day. He might be going well below par, shooting the best game in his life, and then suddenly on the final hole, these whirlwinds will come as he drives and knock the ball off into someplace else. So they're out there to disrupt again because they don't like it. They don't like people doing things, having fun on top of their sacred ground. So that's the trilogy. I guess trilogy. I guess it's trilogy. Trilogy. Yeah, like trilogy, like a movie trilogy. Trilogy Golf Club in Vestanchia, Peoria, Arizona. So those are your four little stories about golf courses, mainly in the West, Arizona, California, two in California and one in Kansas, one in the Midwest. So there's your four there. So let's get into the more deeper stories. These are more, there's more to them. So I think they're worth focusing on. Hello, Tara's Fish Room. Good to see you. Yes, they do have fun. They definitely have fun pranking these golfers. Absolutely. Spirits with a sense of humor, right? You can't go wrong. All right. All right, let's go on to Etna Springs, Pope Valley, California. Now, Etna Springs is currently a golf course that is closed. I think it's closed for renovation. I don't think it's closed for any nefarious reason. But it is said that this particular golf course is built on the resting place of 8 monks. The bodies of 8 monks are buried on this golf course. And the story behind it is pretty gruesome. And it goes back to the 16th century. Think about that, 1590s. 1590s. When California was being explored by Spain and being colonized by Spain, there was a monastery here established with the purpose, as the Spanish did whenever they colonized, tried to spread Catholicism, tried to spread Christianity amongst the natives. So they established a monastery here, and 8 monks were there. Well, it seems that, as it goes with any of Spain's colonies, there always came along this big theory about gold, that because that's what Spain was after for the most part. When they started all of this, they were after gold. They wanted to mine the New World for gold. So wherever there was a Spanish settlement, there was always the rumor that there were gold. And because there was gold, there ended up being pirates looking to take the gold. Well, this was no exception. In fact, this monastery was raided by pirates. And they ended up torturing these poor monks to death, all 8 of them, in an effort to find out where the gold was hidden. But there wasn't any gold. It was simply a monastery. So these poor monks died in a horrible way on this monastery, and ultimately on this golf course. And it is said that you will see the spirits of these monks wandering the golf course if you're there at night. And it's quite a common sight, from what I understand. And in fact, in 1963, a doctor who had seen these ghosts, had seen these spirits quite regularly while he was golfing there, decided to come back and bring a camera and try to capture them. And here I'm going to show you the photo that he had, that he that he took, that is said to show those monks. So let's take a look at this. And you tell me what you think. Like I said, this is 1963. It's an analog camera. There's no digital. This is taken simply with an old-fashioned camera that had to be developed. And when the films were developed, this is what came out. And it is said that you see in this picture, you see 3 misty images, 3 figures, 3 white figures that represent 3 of those 8 monks, on which the doctor said he saw on the golf course. And he snapped this picture, and this is what we have. So I don't know. This looks kind of believable to me, in the sense that it's not digital, so it's not doctored. It's not easily doctored. It's a legit picture that was taken of something that could very well be spirits. I don't know. It could very well be the monks, for all I know. McHugh, get out of here, McHugh. I'm going to put you in the trunk. What do you think about that? I'm going to put you in the trunk. I think I did it. Oh, wait a minute. Did I put you? But I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was joking, and I actually did it. I'm sorry, McHugh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Um. Anyway, so here we have it. We have this picture, which I think is kind of cool. Whether you believe it or not, I think it's kind of cool. I tried to hide his comment, and I ended up putting him in the trunk. What is going on, or in the bathroom, whatever you want to call it. Let me see if I can get him out of there by going on my phone, because I can't seem to figure out how to do it on here. So let me see what I got here. Give me 1 minute. Like I said, I didn't mean to do that. I did that by accident. So apologies, McHugh. Anyway, so as I try to do that, let's go on to. So this is what it looks like. This is what this story goes. It's a horrible story when you think about it, but it's believable why there might be spirits. That's for sure with this. All right, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. I don't know how this happened. Here we go. Yeah, I know he got timed out for 300 seconds. What the heck? I didn't want to do that. Anyway. Yeah, he's gone. I can't figure out how to get him back. Now he's a spirit, I guess. I'm gonna have to go into. Well, I can't do that now. I'm gonna have to go into my what do you call it? And get him back. I'm gonna have to go into my block box. I mean, he's not blocked, but he's in timeout. Anyway. Well, what are you gonna do? He deserves it anyway. He's such a wise guy. Anyway, all right. So let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. All right, there we go. So that was Etna Springs, Pope Valley, California, with those poor monks. All right. Now, the next story. Next story is right here in New Jersey. So I never heard this story. So it's intriguing to me how I never heard this story. There's a golf course in Springfield, New Jersey, called Baltus Roll Golf Club. And Baltus Roll Golf Club has been around for quite a while. And many golfers have said that the ghost on this particular golf course is quite active and quite prevalent around the area. Many have seen him, and they call him Old Balty. Now, it's interesting because the name of the golf course is named after this ghost. This guy, his name was Baltus Roll. Baltus Roll. And he was a farmer on the mountainside. Yeah, yes. I know the golf course well. Yes, Stiggs. It's right. It's right next to mountainside, correct. The area in question that is now the golf course was originally a pretty big farm, and it was owned by Baltus Roll. And he was a famous. He was a successful oxen farmer. I guess that was something back in the day, in addition to growing crops, you raised oxen and either sold them or did whatever you wanted. I don't know what you did with them. But anyway, so word got around that he was well to do. He really wasn't, though. But people thought because he had this huge farm, which he inherited from his parents, who were immigrants that came here uh, and built this farm up, and he took it over. And word got around until so much so that a couple of drifters who were passing through decided that it was worth their while to try to get to old Baltus's treasure, even though there really wasn't any treasure. What do they know? They hear locals talking. So they figure we're going to get them. We're going to hit this guy and we're going to find what treasure he has. So it was a cold February, a cold, rainy, sleet, rainy evening, February 22nd, 1831. And all Baltus Roll and his wife are in bed, sleeping. It's about 2 a.m. in the morning when suddenly they're awoken by pounding at the door. Well, Baltus jumps from his bed in his nightgown, takes his candle like this, goes over to the front door. Just as he's about to peek out the front window to see who's there, the door bashes and in come these two thugs. One is named Peter R. Davis, and the other one's named was Lycidius Baldwin. Now, these two rogues were there to do no good, and they grab old Baltus, and they immediately drag him out of the house. They tie him up onto a chair at which they pulled from his very own kitchen area or dining area. Meanwhile, his wife doesn't know what is going on. She awakes and sees what's happening, and she's petrified. So they pretty much left the wife alone. They just targeted Baltus himself, pulled him outside into the icy cold weather. They begin to pummel him and beat him, demanding that he tell them where his gold is, where his treasure is. Well, Baltus does not say a word because Baltus has no treasure. He pleads with them, no, I do not have anything to give you. While this is going on, his wife secretly sneaks out the back door and heads to the woods, fearing for her life. She goes into the woods and hides until morning. Well, in the morning, when she returns, she finds poor Baltus face down in the mud, dead from the beating that these two rogues gave him. Right after that, she runs to the nearest village for help, and the local constable, I guess that's what was around there, begins to form a posse to find who these people are. Well, really, little did he know that that Peter Davis, right after failing to find this gold, made it straight to the local tavern and began to imbibe in drink as well as opium. And in fact, overdoses on opium and dies that very night. That very next day, he dies on opium. The other individual, Lycidius, took off, and a posse went after him, captured him, brought him back for trial. And for some reason, he gets acquitted. He is not convicted and is let go. And it is said that because of that, old Baltus cannot rest. And in fact, he rises every night on that golf course where he perished in search of this one remaining thug that took his life, Lycidius Baldwin, and is said to wander about on various holes, looking around. He always looks confused or determined, as if he is looking over each individual golfer to see if he is one of the thugs that assaulted him. So it is a I don't know. It is a tale of woe, I guess, and a tale of failing to find justice and how it carries over into the new world, into the next world or so. So old, and they call him Old Balti because so many golfers have seen him over the years. that he's still doing this. Now, the golf course itself was built in 1895, but this has been going on since his death. You know, his spirit, the sightings of his spirit have been going on since his death. And it just so happened that it turned into the golf course. You know, there's no real connection between Baltus and golf. It's just that this was his land. This is where he perished, and he's out looking for those villains that did this to him. So I'll show you what this looks like real quick. You know, it's another golf course. It looks pretty cool. I've never been there, but looks pretty enough. This is the lower half of the golf course. As you can see, the traps that are here, the sand traps, but it's very neatly maintained and beautiful. So there you go. McHugh, do you want to go back into the trunk or back into the bathroom? I'd be happy to do that for you. All right, there we go. Nice. All right. So that's the second one. Old Balti of Baltus Roll Golf Club, searching for the villains that took his life. All right. The next story is Montgomery Golf Club in Minnesota. So we're going from New Jersey to the middle of the country, the north middle of the country, north central. We're going to Minnesota. And Montgomery Golf Club has a couple of ghosts hanging out here. So let me show you what it looks like, if I may. Where are we? Where is Montgomery? Where'd you go, Montgomery? Montgomery. No, this is not Montgomery. This is Etna. This is Etna. We talked about that already. This is Etna. All right, let's get out of here. We don't want that. I guess I don't have Montgomery Golf Club. But anyway, it's in Minnesota. Once again, this golf course was built on an old farm. And the old farm was owned by someone by the name of Benedict Bury, who died in the 1870s. Now, the spirit of Benedict is said to hang out at the first hole of this golf club, because that's where it is said that he was originally buried when he died. And this is a full apparition of him. People describe him as having a straw hat and a set of overalls, much like you'd think about a farmer. You know, the stereotypical image of a farmer. That's what he looks like. Hi, Bobo. Good to see you. He tends to hang out, generally, like I said, in the first hole, but he's also been seen in the clubhouse. Now, any golf club has a clubhouse where the members go and hang out, they drink, they eat, etc. And it's interesting to see that type of figure in the golf club house itself, a straw hat and overalls. And it's said that when he appears, the TVs will go on and off. They will turn on and off by themselves. The air conditioning will dip to below 50 degrees out of nowhere. And then he'll be sitting on the deck sometimes, just chilling also as well. Now, on the 8th hole of this golf course, it is said that floating lights have appeared, and that these floating lights are not just there. They chase away the golfers. So if you happen to be on the 8th hole of this golf course and you see these lights, the accounts have been that the lights start in the distance and come come forward, getting faster and faster as they approach, until the golfers run from the hole. So whatever these spirits are, they are protecting the eighth hole. They don't want people there. If you're there late, you're in trouble. They're going to come after you. I don't know what happens if they catch you, but they're going to try to catch you, and they're going to come pretty fast at you. And then it's also said that one of the golf club's founder spirit also hangs out here. They're not sure which one it is. There was quite a number of them. But this guy tends to sit at the bar and as if he's having a drink. And he'll also be seen looking out the window. The clubhouse has a big picture window that oversees some of the greens. And sometimes his spirit is seen standing there gazing out over the golf club at which he found it, proudly, I guess, looking at it. So those are the things that go on at Montgomery Golf Club in Minnesota. So you have the old farmer, Benedict Berry, who's hanging out in full regalia, farmer regalia. You have the founder, and then you have these lights, these ghost lights that appear on the eighth hole. So creepy stuff hanging out over there at Montgomery Golf Club. All right. All right. Now, my last story is probably the creepiest of them all. So I'm glad you hung out for this one. This one takes place in a place called City Park Golf Course in New Orleans. It's an 18 holes golf course. It was opened in 1902. And imagine this. You go out on an early tee. Your group of golfers are out early, say 7 a.m. You go out to tee off. As you're about to tee off, you hear in the next hole, not the first hole, the second hole, possibly the third hole, you hear two female voices. And you say to yourself, what is going on here? We're at 7 a.m. We're the first tee off. But there seems to be women golfers on the next hole, laughing, talking as if nothing had happened. Suddenly you hear the crack of a gunshot, and then you hear screaming. And you rush there to see what has happened on this golf course. And what do you find? You hear, I'm hit. You hear, I'm hit yelled out. You rush there to find out, and what do you find? Nothing. You find absolutely nothing. Well, this is the scenario that happens over and over again at City Park Golf Course. And what is happening is the replay or the residual haunting of a murder that took place on this golf course in the 1960s. In fact, 1960 is when it is said to have taken place. And in fact, there have been many police calls from people who are unfamiliar with this, who hear this or experience this, and then in great alarm of what that might be happening, call the police in hopes of stopping whatever is occurring. Hey, Crewmel, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for stopping in. So there have been many 911 calls. In fact, a lot of what they do at this point is they tell people, people that are new to the course, that they shouldn't call 911 unless they're very sure that something is going on that would require the police, because it became such a nuisance. The police kept coming there and finding nothing. It's also happened in the 1980s. The son of an investigating police officer took his own life with a gun on this golf course, which was kind of disturbing, beyond disturbing. And it is said that his ghost can be actually seen. You can see that individual there. He's described as medium build specter with dark hair, hard features, looking over the green. And if you make contact with him, now this is the creepy part. If you make contact with him, he will stare back at you and shake his head disapprovingly. He stands typically in the shades of the oaks that surround the golf club, and he will follow certain golfers from hole to hole. And a lot of times people think they're being stalked, and they find out that when they call for help, it's nothing but a spirit. There's nothing there but the spirit of this individual. They call him Eddie Blackie Pastiano. Um, the unfortunate son of a local police officer who took his own life there. I mean, he wasn't a kid; he was an adult son, the son of the killed. So quite a creepy story in the City Park Golf Course in New Orleans. 18 holes where this murder reoccurs every day and scares the crap out of those that have no idea what's going on here. So City Park Golf Course and 18 holes. There you go in New Orleans. So those are your golf stories across America. Let me show you. I do have one picture though. I wanted to show you of the last golf course, Montgomery Clifton, California. Montgomery Golf Club in California. This is a picture that's taken of it in winter, and it really lends to the creepiness of what this place must look like. This is what it looks like in winter. So obviously a scary place to begin with. When that snow begins to melt and that fog begins to build in between the trees, it must be quite a scary thing to look at. So there you have it. That's Montgomery Golf Club in Minnesota. Quite a creepy place, especially in winter, as you can see. All right. Let's get rid of that. All right. Now, let's go into some paranormal vids, pictures, and let's see what you think. All right. All right. Now, this one is a video. It's a video of pictures. And this, interestingly enough, comes out of a real estate ad to sell a home in New Jersey. So, as you might know, when someone's selling their home, the realtor will come and take pictures and take various pictures of the house at different angles and stages. And they'll put them online with the listing to entice people to come and see. Well, that's exactly what happened here. But somebody noticed something in these pictures that I'm going to play for you that they say turns into a full body apparition. So let me play this and you tell me what you think of this. Okay, now this is the living room. And to the left of the picture, there are bar stools and there's a bar there. Now, look at the first bar stool. Now, you see the first bar stool closest to us, whoever's looking at this. Do you see the white stuff on that bar stool? Well, it's said that that is the beginning of a manifestation of a spirit. Now, I'm going to play this, and it's going to show you the progression of it with the other pictures. Now, here's another angle of that same room. Now there's the angle again. There's the stool with the picture with the white mist forming on it. And there's the full body apparition from another angle of that particular bar stool. Now it's going to show you it again. Here it is. This is the beginning. There's the second picture. And here, right here it is, different angle. And then there's the full body apparition that appears in the bar stool. Now, what do you think about this? Is this really a ghost? Or is this just someone sitting in this bar stool? Now, the person that put this on the internet said, this can't be a regular person, can't be just a normal person because the realtors don't use photos with people in them. So this must be a spirit. And they also point to the fact that the head part of this is kind of translucent at parts. You could kind of see through this. And that there's no legs here. There's just this white like draping type of thing here. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Zelda says it's somebody sitting in a chair. Hold on, let me move this. Somebody sitting in a chair. Looks like I see hands. I could see hands, right? Hands on both sides holding each side of it. So I don't know. It does look like a solid person. The only thing that's a little bit odd is that you don't really see the legs and you don't see and the head part, the portion here, you see kind of through part of it. Part of the head you can see through. No, Tara, no, not that I know of. In fact, it wasn't, none of that was mentioned. And like I said, this was put online by someone who just happened to be looking at the listing and saw this in the pictures, looking at all the pictures. So, what about the mist part over here, which is the prior? It's from a different angle, but that's the same stool. What about this mist in here? What is this here? So obviously the person is not here at this point, but there's something here, some white misty type stuff here. So, and I don't know what this is. This is supposedly another angle, but I don't see anything there. This is definitely the bar. I see the bar here, and that's the first stool, but I don't see anything in there. They, the poster claimed that this is the second phase of manifestation that leads to the full body apparition. I don't know. So I don't get this second picture because I don't see anything in it. So there you have that. All right. All righty. Now let's go on to our next one. What do we have in our next one? Let's see here. All right, this one is kind of this is just creepy and bizarre. So this is not a ghost, but I wanted to show you this to get your take on it. This is a still picture taken from a trail cam. Here we go. What do you think this is? Like I said, this is a trail cam picture And it's a picture that's taken when the trail cam has been knocked down. So the trail cam is either on a tree or on a stand. It's knocked down, and it takes this picture as it's falling to the ground. Now, what is that? What type of animal would that be? I'm kind of baffled. I don't know. I don't know. It's just very weird looking. So, and these, and there's lots of stuff online about trail cams. You can, if you just Google that or you go onto YouTube and search for trail cam videos and pictures, you'll see tons of stuff of weird stuff that shows up on trail cams. I just thought this was very creepy, and I said, what is that? 4. No, there's 5 McHugh. That you can't see the other one in the back here. Like the other one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's one small one on the other side. So there is 5 there, but you can't really see that. Like the 5th one. So it's very creepy and intimidating, I would say, to see something like this on your trail cam and not knowing where it came from. So dog paw, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a dog, so I don't know. I guess it could be a dog that never had its nails trimmed, but you would think that dogs, dig a lot, right? And they trim their own nails from digging a lot, but who knows? So I thought that was just a creepy thing to find on your trail cam. Not something that I'd want to find. Especially if the trail cam was in my backyard, I wouldn't want to see that there. All right. Next, what do we have here? All right. This one is a dash cam video of a trucker. Let's see, Windows. Here we go. Let's do it. There we go. All right. Now, this video, you can see it's a trail cam of an 18-wheeler. There's another 18-wheeler right next to it, right as they're traveling along the highway. Now, you're going to see as this tractor trailer to the left pulls in front, you're going to see a mist that kind of forms. And then you'll see, obviously, what happens after that. So I'll let it play. There's the mist. Now watch what happens. It is said that is a ghost truck that it appeared first it was the mist, and then the actual image of the truck appears in front of him. And he passes right through it. So I don't know. Is that superimposed is my question. Let's look at it slowly and see what we have here. There's the mist, right? All right, now here's your first image of the truck, right? It starts over here, right? Now, I think that this is superimposed because look at the road is different, right? When that ghost truck appears, the road is different. You see the 2 lines? Look at the lines, right? That's a different road. So I think what happened, what this is this is a dash cam from a collision, right? that they took and they superimposed onto here. What do you think? So I think this one is just a fraud. This is just somebody who's playing games and took a, I mean, like that must have been a tragic, tragic accident that caused that filming, that film came from, because you're hitting a tractor trailer head on like that. That's not going to be good. So, um, creepy. That in of itself is creepy, but I just think that I think that this one is superimposed and made up. All right. All righty. So you guys agree on that one. All right, cool. Now let's see what we got here. All right. This is a still. I don't know when this was taken, but you'll see a picture of a nun, and then you will see what is said to be a ghost of another nun that is reaching out to hug her as she's standing there when this photograph is taken. It's a black and white photo. It's not digital. It's an old analog photo. Hey, Todd Father. Good to see a friend of mine. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we've got here. Check this out. All right. You can see the nun here. I'm going to play this because it's a video too, but it's really a still photo. As you can see, the hand, right? You have the hand grasping or looking to grasp the arm here. You have an arm, but the arm is very weird looking to me. Like this looks very non-human. Like this, the whole shape here doesn't look like it's natural. The head, right? It just doesn't look right to me. It looks like it's like a cartoon or something, or I don't know. It doesn't even look like a real person to me. It looks like I don't know, something that was drawn in, so to speak. I don't know. Arms look solid and long. Yeah, I mean, like way too long for a normal arm, right? That's just way too long. Looks like like a bad artist. A bad artist drew that and then posted. So anyway, there you go. There you have that one. I don't buy this one at all. It looks blurry, as if you could say it's a blurred version of someone who's like rushing in to grab her, but it doesn't look like a real human being to me, though. If it looked like a real person, then I'd say yeah, okay, but it doesn't look like that to me. It looks fake. All right, let's do away with that. Bye bye to that. Now let me see this one. I want this one launch. Hold on. Hey, we got too many windows open here. Hold on. Okay, right now this one I really am interested in your opinion on, because this one's got me. This one has got me. So you tell me what you think on this one. Here we go. This is a surveillance video, like an outdoor, someone's property. As you can see in this picture, there's a bunch of cars parked here. This is on someone's property. There's a car with a blanket over it, I guess, and then there's a shed or a barn over here. Now watch what happens. And there's a couple of dogs in this picture or in this video that kind of lend me to believe that this is, bizarre. Like I don't have an answer for it. So let's play it and you tell me what you think. Here we go. Now watch behind, the black building there, the barn. Now watch behind the black barn. To the left of the black barn, it's going to start. You're going to see a figure in the distance, and it's going to transverse the property. And you're going to see the dog. The dog runs out there. There's another dog in the corner. Here's a better view of it. Now, behind the barn, to the left of the barn, let me put it on full screen. What am I doing here? I want to make sure you get a good look at this. There's a circle around it. All right, starts over there. Now it's going to come out. There's the figure. It comes out. It's transversing the area there, and this dog knows it's there. Now look at the light go on. The light went on near the red car. There's a light there that went on, a motion detection. There it is again, and then it vanishes. Look at that. It vanishes. There it is, walking on the tree line. It disappears there. Now it reappears when the light goes on over there. The motion detector goes. The dog runs out because he sees it. There it goes, walking on the other side of the car. And then the dog is there and it vanishes. So the dog here is kind of a neutral, kind of like a fixed point of reference here. The dog sees what's happened. The dog sees something happening. The dog is going towards it. So there's definitely something there, whether it's a person or whether it's a ghost or whether it's some creature or whatever, but there's definitely something there. This is not an illusion. It's not an illusion of the camera. It's nothing like that. There's definitely something there. The dogs are proof of that. But what I don't understand is if this is a person, if this is just a person, how does it vanish at this point? It just vanishes, goes around the pole and it vanishes. So let's look at that. Let's go back again here. So here it comes through the trees. It comes along the tree line, popping along. Right? Vanishes. The light goes on. See there. Here's when the motion. Watch when the motion light goes on. There goes the motion light goes on. The motion light detected something moving. The dog is running towards it. Right. And now it's going to appear. There it is. Appears on the other side of the red car. And it's going around. It's going around. And then it vanishes. Right here, it vanishes. And the dog is there the whole time going nuts because he sees or she sees something there to go after. So this one's got me. I can't really debunk this one. Why do you say they wouldn't run towards it? Why not? They're guard dogs. These two are guard dogs. That's why they're going crazy because something is there. Something is transposing the property. It's going across the property. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah, it's in winter, so there's some snow on the ground here and such. But Where did the dog end up? Over there in the darkness. I have no idea. The dog went into the darkness. The video stops right after he goes. That the image of the figure disappears as it rounds the pole. The video stops. Like there's nothing there because this is a motion activated camera. So the dogs are reacting to whatever's there, turns the camera on. And once the dog is all the way out there and the other dog, I guess, in the corner kind of went out of the view, it shuts off. So it only shows so much, a certain amount of time, whatever it's programmed for. Woods, sweet tea, just woods. This is it's like a farm property somewhere. Yeah, there's not, as far as I understand it, this is just it's a rural area. So there's nothing to the right there. The dog ran prior? Wait a minute. No, prior to it crossing the path? Hold on, let's go back. Now here's the dog. He's running. Right? He's running. There he goes, right? The thing's already passed where he is. See? There's where it is. So, like I said, when it's going along the tree line, it comes to this point, now it vanishes, right? You don't see it anymore. The dog is running straight forward where it is, where he thinks it is, right? And then it's within right here when the motion light goes on out here, it's within the parameter of that light. Now, I don't know how long that light is, but it's over there somewhere, right? And the dog is running towards it. And then you can kind of see it a little bit, I think, there. If you really concentrate, you could see it moving from here to the red car. And then it comes around the red car and around the pole, and then it's gone. So this one cannot be debunked. No, that white light in the car is the reflection through the windshield of the light of the motion light, right? Like, let's see. Like, when does the motion light go on? Hold on, let's see. Oh no, it's on before the motion light. So there's a light in the car on before the motion light. Yes, you're right. The light in the car is on before the motion light. And then it goes off, though. That's weird. It's on, and then it goes off as the figure goes around. Yeah, what is that? What is the light in the car? It's actually, look, as you're following this, it's on already. Like here, it's not on here. Now it goes on. It goes on here. Unless that's a reflection. I don't know. Maybe that's a reflection of light from the farmhouse, from the farm. I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. The dog is going to where he sees the motion, yeah. And the thing booked past. Like the thing, it's gone before the dog even gets there. It's already by the car. Look at it. It's already behind the car right here. And then it comes back around. And the dog just kind of holds his ground where he goes up to this car. He goes up to the truck. I guess that's a truck, a black truck. Looks like he goes up to the truck and holds his ground there. He doesn't go any further. But you can't really see it because they don't, they black it out because they focused in on the figure. So you can't really see the dog from that point on. But I'm pretty sure he holds his ground at the black car. And this, whatever it is, goes around the pole, and then disappears. So this is a difficult one. Brake light? No, I don't think it's a brake light. Why is that a brake light? It's in the windshield. It's in the windshield. What brake light? I don't see any brake lights on. Anyway, well, that's what this one to me is not debunkable. I don't know what that was. If it was a ghost or if it was a person or a cryptide, whatever you call those things, cryptids. I do not know. I can't tell you what that is. But that one is that one really got me. That one intrigued me. So, you make your own determinations, but my only determination is I can't come up with a reasonable explanation for that. So it's and if that's a person, if that's just a regular person, why did it why did the person vanish like into thin air, kind of vaporized as it went around the pole? I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost on that one. Hey, Deb Roberts, how are you? So that's how it goes. Listen, these things are left up to you as an individual to make your determination, whether you believe them or not. My standard is usually if I can't find a reasonable explanation that I could easily point to, then I'm kind of I buy into it. I've kind of bought into it as something that's unexplained. Let's put it that way. I can't say for sure it's something. Can't say for sure it's a ghost. I can't say for sure it's a spirit or a cryptid or whatever. I just can't say that I don't. All I could say is that I don't have a reasonable explanation for it. So, all right. I think that was all I had. Yeah, that you saw that one. Saw that one. Let me see. Yeah. Saw that one. Yeah, these other ones. These are from last week. So we went over all of these. We checked all of these. All right. So, what's going on, guys? Anything else? Any other questions for me? My candles are burning out, though. Look at this. Look at this. Jeez. What about that? Gone. Nothing left. Yeah, he does, Stoney. He's kind of burnt, right? And then we got Edgar's hanging out a bit. Edgar's kind of stuck over here. There's my boy Edgar. There he is. James is not here, but I bet Edgar would beat the crap out of Shelby. Ravens kick butt. Remember that. Parrots don't have any shot against a Raven. Oh, Deb, yeah, no apologies, Deb. You get here when you get here. You're watching on replay. Whatever you want to do, you do. Or whatever you can do, you do. CG2, will you beat 2021 from yeah, 2021. You know, whatever. Whoever's around is around. Newport, Rhode Island. Zelda's asking about Newport, Rhode Island. I did do something on Rhode Island. I'd have to go back and see if it was Newport. There, I definitely did Rhode Island. Like I've done every state now, oh, except Hawaii. Hawaii is the only one I haven't done. So I can always do that one. But I will go back and look and see about Newport. I know Newport's a famous historical site too. You know, beautiful scenic area. So I'll definitely look at that. There's probably some interesting stories if I haven't touched on them yet. Newport specifically. Yeah, I didn't do one specifically on Newport. There might have been one from Newport though. That's my point. I'll go back and check. You know, if there's enough, I'll do one specifically on that. You need to do ghosts in I'm not going to go into any cemetery and do this. Get out of here. You're nuts, McHugh. I'm not going to do that. You don't find somebody else to watch for that. I'm not doing that. Hey, Dave from Boston. How are you? Good to see you. So far, Tara, yes. So far, I've stuck to the United States and touched on a little bit of Canada. I think I didn't really delve into much in terms of Canada, and I haven't done it. Excuse me, I haven't done anything about Mexico either. But I've been starting just basically where I am, and we can always expand and do those. Absolutely. But I'm open to anything that's interesting, you know? If you know of stories of ghosts in cemeteries, we have them all the time, McHugh. What are you talking about? I've had them so many stories with stuff in cemeteries. So many. What's that one that comes to mind? The Catman. The Catman of whatever. That was in a cemetery. Dude, there's plenty that I've done about cemeteries. But here's the other thing that I said about cemeteries. Cemeteries are difficult to get the really good ghost stories from because they're hallowed ground. So most, if not all, of those buried there are at rest. They're not going to be turning into ghosts because they're at rest. It's these older cemeteries that are, you know, that may not be hallowed ground or that are disturbed. If they're the things that are disturbed, then you might be spiritual activity. You know, you might hear more stories about them. Yes, I did do Dave T. I did do Salem last October. Last, I think it was part of last October, my October Halloween series. I did each one each week. I think I did Salem. I did Sleepy Hollow. I did werewolves and something else. I forgot what the other one was. But yeah, but here's this is cool. I'm planning a trip to Salem myself this October. My wife and I are planning a trip there, a short trip there. So I will get some good videos. Hopefully, I hope to get some good videos to share with you guys of my little trip, quick trip to Salem, Massachusetts. I'm really enthused about it. I want to check it out and see what it's like to actually be there. Cromel says, "Do Pierre Lachaise in Paris during daylight. It's absolutely interesting." Huh. Who do it during daylight? Oh, you mean is it a cemetery? Is that what it is? Cromel? CG2. When I lived in Kingston, Ontario, they did haunted tours. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. Heart Island. No, A Million Bodies. Heart Island. Huh. I'm writing that one down. So we got Heart Island. We have Newport, Rhode Island. Thank you guys for these ideas. Oh, it's big as a city block. Okay, Carmel. Yeah, yeah, cool. Kingston, Ontario. All right, cool. I got some nice nice ideas to look for future episodes. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. So look forward to that in October. I will be sharing some videos. So check it out. Look at Lenny over here. I guess he's tired, man. He is tired, right? I don't blame you, kid. Long day, right? So I get it. We're just about wrapping up anyway. So thank you, Lenny, for hanging out and this long, and Edgar and Victor and everybody else. Thank you for hanging out in the library with me. There will be future events coming shortly, I'm sure. So check it out. And like I'm another plug for membership to the channel, because I'm going to be doing original fiction stuff that I wrote. If you're interested in that, join the channel, like join the channel itself, because that's where I'm going to be doing that original work. I have to copyright it first before I do that. And then as soon as I do that, I'll be doing that on my members only channel, or not channel, members, whatever they call it. Whatever they call it. you have you do a video just for the people that are members of the channel. It's not members only, or whatever that thing is, fans only, whatever the hell that crap is that Stiggs talks about all the time. It's not that. No free memberships, Don McHugh. I don't even know how to do that, honestly. I there's something wrong with my computer. I can't even give out memberships. I can't even do that. I can't do it. So, and what I do is I go to YouTube and I look up these videos that are supposed to be instructional to show you how to do it, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work on my Mac. So I don't know what to say. I don't know. That's why I can't receive them and I can't give them. And I can't join, I can't receive them, and I can't give them, and no one can help me figure it out. So I don't know what to say. I'm not consistent, and I'm not OnlyFans either. Oh, thank you, Jimena. Yeah, listen, if you can't, you can't. Honestly, I can't do it at all. I can't, for some reason, I can't do it at all. I don't know why. It's ridiculous, and it's quite aggravating. It's quite, it really, and it's the one thing that aggravates me about Mac and Apple is that, and because I'm believe it has to do it has to be something to do with that. It has to be something to do with it being in Apple products and not being compatible with everything that YouTube has. And it does aggravate me. So, yeah, CG2, right? Apple will not let me do it. Won't let you do it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But supposedly there's some way. Todd Father told me that there's some way to do it where you got to go. I don't know. It's something you got to go into it from your browser or something. You got to go into a channel via your browser as opposed to the app. And I don't know. I have to talk to him, and maybe he can walk me through it. I don't know. And if I can figure it out, I'll share it. But what the heck do I know? But anyway, thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. I love to spend my Fridays with you guys. You make it worthwhile. Lenny, Victor, and Edgar, enjoy hanging out this time with you. So, as always, thank you for joining me. God bless. and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay scared. Blow out our candles, and we will say goodnight. See you next time.